Welcome to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, the podcast where we make 5-minute decisions that can change your business, your relationships, and your life. Hello and welcome to another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. This is Dean Soto, founder of freedomin5minutes.com and prosulum.com, prosulum.com, and we're here with another Freedom in 5 Minutes episode. Today's topic is this: you have more than you know. That and more coming up. All right. Well. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Again, it's been a couple of days since after Thanksgiving, but I hope you had a great weekend and all that other stuff. And it was great. It was great for me as well. So, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was in the military with me. He was another intelligence analyst, and this was during the time, he went in, I believe in 2004 to Kuwait for Operation Iraqi Freedom. I didn't go till later. Maybe it was 2004, 2005. No. Yeah, it had to be 2005. So I went 2008 to 2009 for a year, but we were in the same unit in Los Angeles, and we just hit it off. Super funny guy, really awesome guy. I'm going to introduce you to him later as the podcast gets a little bit more of a community growing. It's definitely growing, which is great, but he is someone special, so I want to make sure that as many people get to know him and what he does as time goes on. But I was having a phone conversation with him, and he does a lot of public speaking. Essentially what he does is he works over here in Central California for an organization that helps teachers. And with that, he also has a side gig that he does called Raise the Bar, RAIZE thebar.com. I think you go to weraisethebar.com and you'll check him out. So that's a small little pitch. I'm going to have him actually on the podcast in a future date. But we had a phone conversation, and one of the things is that he does he's doing a lot of speaking gigs, paid speaking gigs, and it's awesome. People love him. He's doing these keynotes where he helps teachers to communicate better with their students, to be able to communicate better with each other, and just to really do things in a much more effective way. And it's not just teachers and students. Anyone can actually utilize his teachings, which is, it's awesome if you ever get a chance to check it out. Well, his name's Juan, by the way. I don't know why I'm just holding that back. I'll just do another podcast later. Anyway, so Juan is awesome. We're on the phone, and one of the things that this happened twice on two conversations, and it happens to me. It happens to everyone. So it's not like, oh my gosh, man, that Juan, he's bad. He's bad. He doesn't know what he's doing. No, it actually happens to everyone. Happens to me as well. And this is when you essentially overcomplicate what you have, or at the same time, so it could be overcomplicating what you have, or on the other hand, looking at what other people are doing and trying to do things that they're doing even when you don't need to. All right. So we're on the phone, and he's talking about, I'm asking about his business. He's asking about mine, and he's telling me all the things he's doing, all the different talks he's given. He went into a couple of different talks and got a little bit of a surprise. So one of those talks, he was expecting like 30 or 40 people. Well, it turns out it ended up being around 200, 250 people, which totally changed his entire talk, because it went from very interactive, doing different team building type stuff, to not being able to do much of that really at all, because with a large group, it's much harder to do that. And so, but it's a cool surprise, right? And so he's telling me about all of these different experiences that he has. Some of them are surprising, some of them are relatively normal, But the thing of it is that during these performances, during these talks, he is getting email addresses. He has people sign their name, first name, last name, and email, and he's getting email addresses and putting them into an email newsletter, which is amazing. Like, if you're not doing that in a business, that is wrong, especially if you're not reaching out to people, utilizing what you have, that's wrong as well. So he's telling me all this, and he's getting every place he goes. He gets a lot of email addresses, email. But what he was currently working on, and what he was having a problem with, was creating a landing page for his website. Because somebody said, you need to have a landing page. You need to have a landing page to gather emails. You need to have a landing page. If you don't have a landing page, you're not going to be able to get email addresses. And it's so important. You need to have a landing page. You need to have a landing page. You need to have a landing page. Which is generically true, right? It is generically true that you should have a landing page when you have a business. That's where you're gathering people's email addresses and so on. But I started asking him questions. I said, Juan, all right, what do you have currently? Because he's in a group, and this idea came from one of his groups that he's in. And I said, with all of the people in the group, what do you currently have that they don't? And he said, oh, well, I'm much more, I'm very creative. I'm much more creative than they are. And I'm like, nope. I have a business. No, they probably already have a business. And after a couple of different answers that he gave that were not the correct answer, I said, Juan, do any of them speak on stage? No, maybe one or two, but not really. Okay. Now, do you think that because they're not speaking on stage, do you think that they would actually need a landing page? Because they're probably going to be doing something like advertising or blogging or something like that. Yeah, of course. Now, Juan, what does a landing page do? What does a squeeze page do? And I went into explaining what a squeeze page or a landing page does. It squeezes an email out of people, right? If you go to freedomin5minutes.com, full disclosure, 100%, I'm not going to hide it. You go there, the primary purpose is to get your email. There's really only one choice, one real choice, but there are actually two choices on freedomin5minutes.com. You can watch the video that introduces me and my wife, or you can put in your email address. There's really no other options, right? And really the only true option is to put in your email address. And so you can get on my email newsletter so I can keep in contact with you and send things to you and everything like that, right? Well, I said, Juan, listen, what do you think you're doing on stage? When you go on stage and you say, hey, I have this, thanks, hopefully you love this and yada, yada. I have this clipboard up here. If you write your first name, last name, and email address in there, I will give you my free whatever it is, my free newsletter or my free ebook that I had made or whatever. What do you think you're doing there, Juan? He's like, oh, I'm basically a squeeze page. And so I'm like, yeah, you are your squeeze page. You have your platform. All these other people who are saying, you need a landing page, you need a squeeze page, you need all this stuff, you need this, you need that. All those people, Juan, they don't have the platform you have. They don't have the audience you have. And then on top of that, what better kind of squeeze page, what amazing authority and social proof than to be on stage asking for their emails, phone numbers, and so on, right? That you can't get much better than that unless you're on television saying that. Unless you're on a really reputable news station or a really, really, really famous blogger's blog or vlog, a video blog, right? So if you truly want to know what would be effective right now for you, just keep doing what you're doing and focus on your email list. Focus on giving them value. You just did some talks. Start sending some emails. Put them into an autoresponder. Start sending automatically. As soon as they get in, boom, they get an autoresponder, so you're not having to constantly do it yourself. But you go to talk, you get emails. You go to talk, you get emails. You go to talk, you get emails. You go to talk, get emails. Boom! You're building your business. You're building your audience. You don't need to go and get a landing page right now. If you're spending hours, which he was spending hours trying to figure it out. He was working with some guy that was going to build something for him for free, and it was just taking forever. Just do what you have now. Many people would kill for it. But it's funny because you and I do not see what we currently have. And if we do, we don't value it. There are people who would die to be able to speak on stage in the way that he does and to get paid for it. Free. He's basically getting paid to advertise and to build his business. People would pay and die for that. Seriously. But for him, and it's no ding on him at all, he didn't see what he had. I don't see what I have a lot of the times, and it takes a coach or a mentor to beat it out of me. So a lot of the times you don't need to go off of generically what people say you should have. That's why you can tell a good consultant from a new consultant. I shouldn't say bad consultant, but a new consultant. A good consultant works with what the person has. A new consultant will come in and say, "Oh, you need to get on this, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and yada yada." And it's this generic template without looking at the business itself. It's a generic template without looking at the business itself and realizing that if they were going to change what they're doing now, it could drastically affect sales. It could affect the organization and so on. So you want to see what they have right now and work as much as possible with that. You are the same way. This is why maybe you have your own business. Or maybe you don't have your own business. Either way, you have something. So say you have your own business, but you keep getting sucked into it. You're spending 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week on this business. The fact that you're not able to live the lifestyle that you wanted might be because of not having certain systems. You might have things in your head, or your staff might have things in their head, but the minute everyone's able to get that out onto paper, you can then, boom, hand it off to a general manager or hand it off to somebody else who could manage all of that and see that the operation moves. So then you can, boom, back away and do the things you want to do. Or maybe you don't have your own business right now. Maybe you are at a 9-to-5 and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to leave my job and it just sucks and my boss is bad and all this other stuff. But you don't realize that if you have an extra $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month in disposable income, which I talk to people all the time who do, it's not uncommon that you can save that money. Say you make an extra $2,000 a month, save that money for 10 months and buy a cash flow property. I can do that? Yeah. And then buy that cash flow property and then have someone's paying the mortgage and you're getting cash flow from it, and you can take the cash flow from that plus your $2,000 and pay off that house pretty quickly. What? Really? Yeah. Or you can do that and every 10 months buy another house. You have so much more than you think you do right now. Juan had so much more than he thinks he does. I said, hey, dude, get a photographer and a videographer, someone who's just starting out and who wants to build up their portfolio. Now you have some amazing videos of you, amazing pictures of you speaking. That is almost game over, man. That is social proof that you are amazing because you are able to speak and you're on stage. That is, perception-wise, that is amazing. So what is it right now? What is one thing right now that you have that other people don't? It might be extra disposable income that you're just not using, or you're not saving, or you're not investing. It might be that you have a business, but you are not letting a general manager run it, or you aren't documenting. You're not documenting your systems and processes. Or it might be that you do have a business, but if you were to document your systems and processes, then you'd be able to turn it into a turnkey business and then sell it off. Whatever it might be, there's something right now that you have that, rather than looking for all these generic things that people are trying to tell you to do, you don't need a landing page if you are the friggin' landing page on stage. If you are the squeeze page on stage. You don't need a landing page if you go and speak at TEDx, or you go speak at something and you're able to get email addresses. I don't think you're going to be able to do that at TEDx, but you get email addresses and phone numbers and things like that from there. You don't need a landing page if you are doing that. Okay? And the point is, landing page or not, a lot of the times the advice you give the advice you get is so generic and works with most people. But there's something that you have right now that other people don't have, that if you just leveraged, boom, you would be able to make a decision very quickly that would push your business forward, that would help you to be closer to your family, help you to do things that you only dreamt of. So what is that one thing? What is that one thing? Go and find that one thing and make a decision to leverage. I'm going to leverage this and I'm going to go full force into it. For me, it's this podcast. If you listen to the last episode, I press a big red button on my iPhone, press it after I'm done, and my podcast is pretty much done other than title and description. I chose to leverage the tools that I have in order to make fast decisions. Leverage the skills of automating and systemizing and outsourcing that I have, that I am the king at. I'm the king. As unhumble as that sounds, I am the king of it. Okay? King of leveraging stuff like that, leveraging my talents like that. What are you the king of or the queen of? I want you to make a decision right now, to leverage that thing. And I'll see you in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes episode. All right, before I go, check out freedomin5minutes.com. Head over there. You're going to love it. You are going to absolutely love it. There's 7 free episodes there. 7 free, never before seen episodes. Totally raw. They don't even have the intros there, but you will love it. Okay. Sign up. I'm going to be sending daily emails. You're going to absolutely love those daily emails, and I'll see you in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes episode.